Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to 5 fingering tricks to improve your intonation on the oboe and English horn. Some oboe players think that if there's a note that's chronically out of tune on their instrument, that it's their own fault. That that maybe they have a deficiency in their intonation, or maybe their instrument is to blame. And my hope is that after I share some tricks with you, that it gives you some more tools in your toolbox to improve your intonation on both instruments. My name is Erin Brophy. I am a sessional lecturer at the University of Saskatchewan and a principal oboe of the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra. Thank you for joining me today. Why am I doing these live presentations? Well, it has a lot to do with how I got started on the instrument and my journey as I improved on my oboe playing. I'm from a very remote part of Canada, up in northern Canada, a beautiful place surrounded by rocks and trees. And it was an idyllic place to grow up until I started the oboe. And that's when all my challenges started. That's when I started to feel very isolated and remote. I did not have access to good information. I did not have access to a functioning instrument. I did not have access to functioning reeds. And I certainly did not have access to a supportive oboe community. And for that reason, I really struggled. There were many times in my journey where I almost gave up. And it felt very alone to try to improve on the instrument. I think that, if you fast forward now many, many years, and I feel very blessed, I've had some amazing instruction from wonderful oboe pedagogues. And now that I help others with their oboe experience, I just reflect that it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that isolating, that we have this amazing internet resource called the internet, which we didn't have, for those of you under 20, when I grew up. So this is remarkable. And that's why I'm doing these presentations. I don't want you to have to suffer the way that I did. So let's get to it. 5 fingering tricks for improving your intonation on the oboe and English horn. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is kind of the theory behind what we're doing if we're adding fingers to our instrument. It may be that we of course want to learn the correct or most acoustically correct fingerings for our instrument. And once you are beyond that point, it may be having these little tricks in your toolkit will help you in a situation where you find that you're playing a solo and a note is sticking out to your ear, or you get feedback from that something is sticking out intonationally, or you're just unhappy with where it's sitting. There are fingerings that you can add. There are for particular notes, there are fingerings. Some notes, there are no options, but for some notes there are. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the theory, which is on some acoustic notes. What you can do is add more hardware. So you can add fingerings that incorporate some of the lower half of the oboe. That can help with tone color. It can help the pitch to come down. And that's something that can be quite beneficial as long as it doesn't actually change the note. So I was going to give you some examples. First, we're going to start with F sharp. F sharp, which is the top line of the staff. Something you can do. So I'm going to play my F sharp so you can hear where it's sitting. Now I'm playing a 1, 2, 3 back octave 1, and I'm just going to add the low B key, and you'll see what that does is, on the other side, oh gosh, there we go. Do you see how it's making that pad go down? So I'm going to add the B natural, and then I'm also going to add the B flat, and you see how it adds both of those going down. That's just going to change how the F sharp is sitting. So I'm going to start with my regular F sharp. Now I'm going to add the B natural key. Do you see how it changes that tone color? Now I'm going to add the B flat key, and we're going to see how it changes the intonation and the tone color of it. on my particular instrument is for that F sharp, the low B flat key makes the pitch go down, and that B natural key doesn't change the pitch so much as make it brighter. So if I was looking for a brighter color, that might be an option on my instrument. That makes a big difference in how you approach particular passages. Now, I have played on instruments where my F sharp, say, for example, sat quite sharp. So I was putting down my B flat key a lot when I had a long solo, but I didn't put it down if I was playing like a technical passage. It just was too many fingers to put down if I was playing very, very fast. So it's not something that you would have to like relearn the fingering, but it's something that you could add if you're playing a slow solo and you're not a slow solo, that you could add that fingering, and that might help you. Okay. It has helped. We have in the Oboe Path program, my group online program, we have an oboe player who is struggling with their F sharp, and I think adding the B natural key on their particular instrument worked really, really well. The Oboe Path program is a group online program that I run, and it is so much fun. It uses a group online masterclass, personalized feedback, and a customized personalized plan to enable an oboist to play with joy and ease. Because of the customized personalized plan, an oboe player goes to each practice session knowing what they need to do, and they see the results immediately. With the group online masterclass, that helps for inspiration and accountability and a collective wisdom, a sharing of information. And with the personalized laser feedback, an oboe player can see exactly their progress throughout the program. It is so fun. Okay, well, where was I? Okay, one of the notes I wanted to show you was a high D. So high D is a note that has various fingerings in the world. And I'm going to show you some things to think about with your high D. First, I'm going to show you my high D that I like, which is half hold 2-3. So half hold 2-3, and then middle of the note, middle of the oboe down here, a middle finger and the C key. Now, as an option, you can lift the bottom finger to change the color of that D. So lifting that finger makes the D go up a little higher. Alternatively, you can also lift up the half hole. That will also help if you're looking for a different color on that D, but it still maintains the integrity of the note. Now, as an oboe teacher, I have many, many students who have struggled with that, making sure they put down the half hole on that high D. So I just want to be clear that on most oboes that keeping the half hole down really works nicely to make sure that your D is consistently in tune. But if you find yourself in an intonational place where you want to change the color, that's when you would lift it up, but only once you have accumulated the skill of having that be consistent for you. So that comes with a little caveat. The next note I wanted to talk about where we can add some fingers to make it sound better is C natural. Now, C natural is chronically a challenging note. I often make my reeds to make my C natural sound pretty. And the reason that it's chronically a challenge for us is it's using a very small part of the oboe. So it's a very, very small part of the oboe that acoustically is being used, where the air is coming out is quite small. There are not a lot of tempered keys to hold it down. Someone who's a physicist, like in my Oboe Path program, or shout out to Allison, you could probably explain this much better than I could. I'm going to tell you what my or oboe maker could probably speak to this with more information. I'm just going to anecdotally tell you what my experience is, which is because it's the smallest oboe, the sound can be quite bright and shrill, especially if I have a particularly shrill reed. And all my other notes can sound okay, but that C natural just sticks out like, I don't know, like a bright red jacket. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest is one of the things that I use if that is happening on a particular reed for me is I put down the low C key, and you're going to hear what it does to cover the sound. I lifted up so you can see that a little bit better. Alternatively, you can also put down a fork. So you can put down your ring finger in the bottom hand. That'll also change the pitch. And that just gives it a little bit nicer covered sound. I've used that a lot. Many times. Sometimes I'll even fit it into, because it's something I've used a lot, I'll even sometimes fit it into a technical passage if necessary. So that's something for you to play with and see if that would be of benefit for you. I did want to show you a trick fingering on the English horn. So I have my English horn here. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute to transition. My studio is cold today, so I want to swab. I have lots of practicing to do, so I want to avoid that water situation. So something to think about. One of the notes that I use a trick fingering on to help me with intonation on the English horn is the high B flat, which is the second space above the staff, that B flat. This just adds some stability to that note, and that can be really beneficial. And I'm going to try to get my reed on. All the things. Okay, so I'm going to play the high B flat, and then I'm going to add in my bottom hand, I'm going to like a fork, just like I did with the C natural. So I'm going to put down my ring finger and the C key, and you'll hear what that does to the B flat. So I'll play the B flat normally. Now, it's difficult to see what I'm doing. I want to do this without smashing my reed here. So how do I do this? Right. So while I'm playing that B flat, I'm putting these keys down. And you can hear the difference that it's making. These ones right here. Let me do that again. So these are some trick fingerings for you to play around with. I hope that they help you enjoy your intonation more, feel more confident if you're playing a solo, or a melody of some kind that you love, that that intonation is feeling more solid for you. Let's all become the oboists that everyone wants to play with, because intonation has such an impact on that. Speaking of intonation and becoming the oboist that everyone wants to play with, I have a webinar coming up on Saturday. I'm very excited about it. It's called Reed Magic, How to Choose a Better English Horn Reed. And we're going to go through my process of selecting reeds that I use on stage. My hope is that with some information that is something that brings you more joy to your playing and helps you become an oboist that everyone wants to play with. So I hope to see you there. There's a registration link just below this video. And let's all play the oboe and the English horn with joy and ease. I'll see you next time. Take care.